Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here for our special call meeting. This is a little bit out of our order than we normally do stuff, but we're doing it for the purposes of trying to assist our police department on a special grant that needed to be addressed. So notice is hereby given that the above call meeting of the governing body of the city of Balcones Heights, Texas will be held on Monday, March 9, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Justice Center located at 3300 Hillcrest Drive, Balcones Heights, Texas, 78201, to consider and act upon any lawful subject which may come before said meeting, including, among others, the following items to be discussed and acted upon. One, we will call to order and recording of a quorum. Let's see who we have here. Ms. Weaver, Mr. Ebersol, Mr. Hernandez, and we have a full quorum. We have here Mr. Sellers and Councilman Burton. So we do have a full quorum to note, Madam, Mr. Secretary. And we will now move over to item number 2, invocation and pledges of allegiance to the USA and the Texas flags. Who will be doing the invocation? Do we have our chaplain here? Okay, I'll go ahead and do it. Lord, we ask for guidance in this meeting that we will be producing for the citizens right now for the better interest. We ask that you guide us with guidance, with principle, with honor, and with your citizens in mind. Thank you. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we will do the honor of the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, one indivisible. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll now move into the public comment period. Rules for citizens. Citizen participation and comments are welcome and subject to the following rules. Complete a registration form. Direct your comments to the city council, not to an employee or to the audience. 3 speakers are limited to 3 minutes, but may be given the time of another speaker for a total of 6 minutes, if approved by the city council. In your speaking at the allotted time, no play cards, banners, or any type of signs are permitted in the council chambers. Your signature indicates that you will adhere to the public comment rules. Citizens may speak on any topic they wish to bring to the attention of the governing body. The council will not deliberate on any item not on the agenda. The council may make a statement of fact regarding the item, and 2, state any city policy related to item, or 3, propose placing the item on a future agenda. Citizens who wish to speak on a specific agenda item when that item is called for discussion must indicate which agenda item they wish to address. So we will have, I think, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, sir. We have 4 people that have signed up to speak. The first is Vanessa Martin.
Okay.
She would like to speak to address about the changing police spending and public concerns.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Martin. Proceed to the podium.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, fellow police officers as well. Just going to talk briefly about the increased spending that we happen to be seeing a little bit. And, you know, we do support our police officers, but we all have a concern with questions and trying to figure it all out as far as being out on the resident end. I'm also a resident. I'm also currently working for running for the city council. So it's kind of one of these things where I'm looking into a lot more things. The first thing I wanted to point at kind of is the funds that the police are using. Public safety definitely matters, and officers, you know, they have to have the tools and stuff that they need to keep us safe. This also includes how those funds are being spent, though. One thing that caught the attention on the DIS spending, it was recently brought up or heard in a meeting about a new dispatch system. I've been looking into it, and I'm kind of having a hard time trying to figure out why exactly we need to have an upgraded system when many of the cities near us or even our size go to the Bexar County to save them money and still protects and serves their communities. Now, that being stated, why exactly the new CAD upgrade when our current system is actually set up to hold a lot more than it does? It's not outdated. And it's just one of those things is to jumping up when what we have is capable of holding a lot more than it does now. If there's a strategic or some definite reason, kind of the residents are asking, they kind of want to know why an upgrade when we don't need it yet. Another thing that recently has been kind of brought and heard in the rumors around is that we're losing some of our police supplies, such as some ticket writers. This is a huge concern because how did those go missing? If it's like any other job, they're reported in, they're written in, you have to sign them in, you have to sign them out. It's kind of concerning because that means somehow something got missing. And how is our officers supposed to be able to control with citations, parking tickets, violations, if we don't have them to make those? I mean, you can't grab a piece of paper, write it, and hold someone accountable with just that, in most ways. Now, every city has them. Everyone has it to try to help them from stopping to break the law all the time. And it's the public. A couple of people that brought it to my attention to like, how does this happen? You've worked in this kind of fields and stuff before. How's that stuff go? How do you miss equipment? I'm not positive how it all works with everyone, but it's kind of a dilemma, and it's who, where's, and everyone kind of wants to know an answer, and we don't at the time have that answer because it's, kind of kept a little bit on the quiet side, which,
It's-
he meant.
It's time. 3 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I apologize.
Much more do you have to go?
Um, just like 2 more key points.
Council okay to giving her a little bit more time? She's not being contentious or anything? Bring us some-
I'm okay with it, Mayor, as long as we have a rebuttal afterwards.
You can't rebuttal. It's in,
No, later on in the meeting. not
if
from
it's not
her.
on the agenda, you can't talk about it. So. You can do that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Martin.
So then it's also one of the other things that is up is the police actions. It's a small thing, but it's important, or not action, sorry, auctions. It's a small thing, but like the police auctions, I actually didn't even know they took place until I came in here for a city council meeting. And they turned around and told us we had to wait because they were finishing up an auction. Or I was signing, I should say, giving my city council papers in. So I never knew anything about that. I've been here for 5 years and not once did I know anything about it because we don't have it posted anywhere. We don't have it on a website anywhere. We have that nice, beautiful sign that, Jack made a point at the Valentine thing that was put out here. It could have been posted on that. That's going to draw attention from the highway. That's going to help us out with bringing people in for revenue to help get rid of some of these things. Also to help bring in more money, because if only 2 people know about it, you only have 2 people bidding, it makes it next to impossible. If 50 people know about it, you can have 50 people bidding. It brings in some revenues. It's just one of those things like that. And it's just basically with everything. I mean, if transparency is one of the things that Belcone Heights was built on. It was built on everyone communicated, everyone told everyone what was going on, the public knew what was going on. We trusted everybody. Right now, no one knows what's really going on. Everything seems pretty quiet. People are speculating, they're guessing, they're throwing in rumors. None of us really know. So it's kind of just along the lines where to help build back the trust and everything, I'm just asking for the, explanation to our citizens where the costs are going, how the changes are being made, why some of the changes are being made, why some of the new tools, and how is this affecting us and our taxes? We pay taxes to help you guys out. You guys all pay taxes as well because we all live here. Where's the money going to make sure that we're not spending foolishly, I guess is a good way to word it. And like I said, it's supporting the police means asking the questions and trying to find out, because if something we find is gonna cost us a lot more money when something we have is working just as well, is it a necessity, or is it just because we want to be like San Antonio or a bigger place?
Thank you very much for your comments. Yes, ma'am. We have the next speaker.
Yes. Antonio Maldonado, how Balcony Heights PD comes to my writs of possessions I have in your city. You've
Okay.
got 3 minutes.
Sure.
Talk about from word of possession that I had last week, sorry. I was evicting a defendant, a Turner, I believe. She was supposed to be the only person in that apartment. And as I knocked, she opened the door. She automatically started being argumentative with me, which is fine. You know, I get that all the time. That's what I do. That's what I get all the time. I noticed 2 other adults in the background who I recognize as 2 people I had evicted the day before. They went into the, so as I stepped in, you know, I have to go in the apartment. I have the court order by the judge. I have to get in there. I start talking to them 3. Then a 4th person comes out of the restroom, and basically they all started being argumentative with me right off the bat. So I have to establish control. I have to be there. I have to show them command presence. So I started basically giving them ground rules of what's going to happen and what I was there for and what I'm going to do. As they started getting louder and louder, I requested backup, precinct 2, just other deputies. And then after that, through a bedroom, there was 2 more adults and 2 children. So there was 7, 8 people, 7 adults and 2 children, and it was chaos. So I got back on the radio, and then that's when I requested, hey, have them step it up. And to my relief, not only did precinct 2 arrive, but Balcony Heights and upper command showed up. So so it just goes to show what you know, how proud I am that at least I have this backup when I come, because I've done several writs of possessions here in the city, and Balcony Heights has always come to help out. Now, I mean, I have friends here that are officers. You know, I'll call them, hey, I'm going to be in the city doing this, that, you know, and they just show up, and then they always lend a helping hand. You know, when I do writs of possessions here in the city, it makes me feel good that I have my backup. I mean, within minutes, because you know our precinct is pretty large, you know, pretty big. They go throughout the whole county, and if I need backup, you know, it takes them a little bit to get to me. Last week when I had that incident there, you know, it was pretty nerve-wracking. I had to show that I wasn't nervous, but you know, I was outnumbered big time. I was outnumbered, and then to know that I depended on the Balcony Heights to arrive and to help, it was a big relief, you know. So really, I'll support them if they ever need us. I mean, I'll help them out. And then, like I said, I have that beyond reasonable out there. Any questions that or anything, any help that I need, they're always going to be there. I know it. That's just the story that I had from last week that I had.
Thank you, Officer Maldonado. Mr. Brown? A risk possession? A writ of possession, a writ of possession.
Basically, I'm evicting the individual.
Right.
For
Not a risk.
for maybe
Writ.
non-payment of rent, maybe a violation of lease agreements. It could be anything, you know. There's different reasons
Right.
why, you know, the property manager will evict an individual from their apartment.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's called a writ of possession.
Yeah, it's a writ of
I wasn't
possession,
sure what
sorry.
you're asking a risk. I was, well, oh, you're going in there risk.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Officer Maldonado.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir, Councilman. Okay. Mr.
Next, we
Ramos?
have Hector Avila, words of appreciation.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. My name is Hector Avila, Sergeant with Precinct 2. I'm actually a resident here. I've been living here for 3 years now. I love living here. My wife, we're always pretty active here in the neighborhood, and we have friends come here and they love it here as well. Reason I'm here, I'm gonna piggyback off what Deputy Maldonado was talking about. Last week, we had that incident. We work, this district here in our precinct is District 2. It's one of your busier districts. We have a lot of apartment complexes, medical center area over here to Balcony Heights. A lot of homeless people seem to kind of just, take up these apartments. So it's pretty dangerous in what he does. I supervise him so that on that day particularly, he called for backup and I showed up. I was the first one there. I look to my left, I see the chief there and some other command staff. I'm like, that's pretty rare. Usually you don't see, command staff going to coded calls. So I was impressed. We work with Leon Valley, we work with Helotes, Castle Hills. I've never seen, that many officers show up. So it makes you feel good, because you see a brother in blue, it doesn't matter who he's with. It was a sight to see. I think it was last July, we had another incident, same apartment complex, 4300 Fredericksburg. A homeless person again had a loose pit bull, bit one of our deputies. Same thing, but Balcony Heights was there again. They were there before we got there because they were closer. So it just shows what the department is made of. The kind of officers that they have at this department. We are very appreciative of that. We're glad they're here. I'm glad, since I'm a resident, I appreciate these guys even more so. And that's all I have to say. Just want to tell you guys how thankful we are for your men in blue.
Thank you, Sergeant Avila.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Okay, Mr. Bravo, anybody else? The Honorable Constable Vasquez.
Well, I don't know about that. Good evening, good evening. So how loud am I? Good evening, Mayor, City Council. So I am here, yes, I'm here to talk about, to thank them, to thank the law enforcement that responded that day. There were actually squatters. I don't know if he mentioned that. They were squatters. Usually when we go out to a scene to evict people, it's at a very emotional time. Usually it's just like being in law enforcement. We are there at people's worst times. Even though we have someone that schedules all this stuff and we ask these questions, that day no one had mentioned that there was going to be that many squatters there. So to have Balcony Heights show up in that force. So when I hear my officers, a lot of the stuff, I don't hear all the little details until I'm hearing this stuff and actually the lady that was speaking before me. So a lot of the little details I didn't hear. So when I hear that the chief and some of his command staff was there, that also tells me that that their staff is smaller and they have to be the boots on the ground. Because I know I have my sergeants and my chief are out there doing evictions, executions, because of my agency isn't big enough. Now I came from the sheriff's office with 25 years under my belt, and I know that we had a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. Well, when I came to be the constable, we didn't have that. We didn't have that luxury. So we have to wear a lot of little hats. We have to do a lot of stuff. Going back to what my sergeant was saying about the dog, we had one heck of a thing. We had an ordeal that day because nobody wanted to take the dog. Bexar County didn't want to take the dog because we were in Balcony Heights. City didn't want to take the dog because we were in the Balcony Heights. Eventually, we finally said, somebody needs to take this dog. So finally, the county did. So these are kind of all the hurdles that we have to go through. Now, another thing I just heard, as far as the dispatching, we have to fall in line, or there's times that we have some hot calls and we have to deal with what's going on with the 911 dispatchers, which is Bexar County. So if Bexar County, if the sheriff's office has something going on, if their special ops has something going on, and we've got something going on, and there's dispatchers are short, you and I had talked about this before, we have to wait. And my officers are also in distress out there. So that is not a bad idea. I wish we could do that. But of course, my budget comes in a giant package, and I don't know what money goes to the dispatchers or anywhere else. I don't have that say-so. I would like to have that say-so. I'm trying to get that say-so. I'm trying to talk to my commissioner to try and have some monies pulled away so we can get our own dispatcher or work with somebody, or even we're talking about the RMS system. I don't know, and I'm not even going to pretend to know what happens here in Balcony Heights. I'm just talking as far as law enforcement. I know that there's an RMS system that we also had at the sheriff's office. That was a tool that we needed. This is stuff to just make our jobs easier. To research people when we get there, I always tell my commissioners, if you don't understand, come right along with us. Come with us and see what we do. That's the best way that you can find out what we do in law enforcement. There's no way that you're ever going to find out. I'm not going to know what you do unless I sit there behind that chair and go out and do hands-on. This is the same thing with law enforcement. Trust me, we don't do it for the pay. We don't. It's a calling that we do it, and we're just trying to do it the best to our ability. But I do want to thank the guys that showed up that day and were there for my officers. They were also the ones that gave the criminal trespass to those squatters because he had already dealt with them days before, and now with this criminal trespass, we were able to get rid of them for good. So, and you can see just driving up and down Fredericksburg Road, how many homeless people we have here in Leon Valley, down Bandera, and even in my business trip. They're everywhere, and we got to work together. And I appreciate Balcony Heights. We really do. So thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Honorable Constable. Okay, anybody else, Joe? Is that all we have, Mr. Brown? All right. We will now move on to the business item, number 1, discussion and possible action. No. Discussion, thank you, sir. And possible action regarding grant 59-13401, statewide emergency radio infrastructure, including resolution 2026-06R. So this is the purpose really of our special meeting. It was only supposed to be one, but another item came up we got to take care of as well. So we'll go ahead and discuss this. Who would like to take lead on that? Maria, it's just a matter of formalities. In the last meeting, we explained what it was, but for the benefit of the public, Chief, go ahead, right ahead and explain to us what the grant is for the benefit of the public, since we've already been briefed last week.
So the grant that we were looking for is for the Motorola radio system. It was a grant out there put out by ACOG. News came in today from the governor's office, though, says that our department won't qualify because we are within Bexar County. If we would have activities outside of Bexar County, they would go ahead and move forward with the grant. It was quite disappointing because my assistant was working on it for quite a while. So as of today, we have to withdraw our grant. So my apologies, but we got called and said we could not move forward.
Okay. I'll caution to you again to make sure that this doesn't occur again, because we had plans. I had vacation plans with family, and we had to be here for this. When I read up on the grant, it should have been ready by January, and ready to go, where you do the application process and start everything for it and have it ready. But I think point taken, so no problem. We'll just be more cognizant the next time and try to make sure we do that so it doesn't create a problem for us on our end. Another
Yes, sir.
special
By
meeting.
all means, my apologies.
But we fully understand things like that do happen, so it's no problem at all
Thank
at
you,
this
sir.
point, okay?
Mhm.
All right, great. So then we will go ahead and move now. So we have now finished with the open session, so no action to be taken, correct, Chief? You don't
Correct,
need it
sir.
because it's a
No-
dead
no
moot
action
point
needed.
at this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go with the closed session. The time is right now 6:24 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask you to step out just for a moment while we. Time is 8:37 p.m. The council is now reconvened from a closed session into open session. Council?
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, you can, sir.
I move to authorize an investigation into the personal allegations made known to the city manager.
Okay, do we have a second to
I
that
second.
motion? Okay, Councilman Sellers has second. And any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
Aye.
Aye.
All ayes, okay? So the ayes carried, 5-1. Personnel allegations to be forwarded to the city administrator for investigation, correct?
City Attorney.
City attorney.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, go right ahead, sir.
Also would like to move to approve and adopt resolution number 2026-07-R. And the resolution will remain in effect until the personal investigation is completed or further resolution by city council.
Okay, can you repeat that motion again, Mr. Hernandez?
I move to approve and adopt resolution number 2026-07-R. And the resolution will remain in effect until the personnel investigation is completed or further resolution by the city council.
Okay. Do we have a second to that motion?
I second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes carried, 5, any nays? Ayes carried, 5-0, correct? Okay, great. Then that completes the items on the agenda, correct? Let's look at anything more. We now have a motion for an adjournment.
I move to make a motion. May I be recognized?
Yes, sir, Mr. Burton, go
I
right
move-
ahead.
I move to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, the time is 8:39 PM, and we have now had a motion for.
I second.
We have a second by Ms. Weaver. Now let's go ahead and, any good discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
motion carries. We have adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for your patience and your help. The time now is 8, I thought I mentioned it, 8:40.
Hey, Chief.